Police officer laughs after arresting innocent teen. Then the body cam footage leaks. Watch this video, please subscribe.
A welcome turns into a nightmare asterisco asterisco.
It was supposed to be a regular Thursday evening. Elijah Brown, 17 years old, with a backpack full of textbooks and a head full of dreams, had just left his tutoring session at the local community center. His AP chemistry notes were neatly organized. He was practicing for a scholarship interview next week, one that could change his life. He was on his usual route home. Hoodie up against the cold. Earbuds in. Texting his mom.
Leaving now.
Be home in 20. But as he turned the corner on Maple and 8th, he noticed the flashing lights.
A police cruiser.
Then a second. Parked on opposite sides of the street. Elijah's pace slowed. He wasn't scared. Not yet. Just cautious. He knew how things could look. A young black teen walking alone, hoodie on, after dark. From the cruiser, Officer Daniel Krell stepped out. A tall man, early 40s, thick mustache and mirrored sunglasses, worn even at dusk. Krell said nothing at first. Just looked Elijah up and down, then reached for his radio. Elijah paused, earbuds out. Is everything okay, sir? No answer. Instead, Krell moved in closer. Where you coming from? Just tutoring. At the community center. What's in the bag? School stuff. You can look. Krell didn't ask. He snatched it. Another officer approached from the other side. Matches the description, he muttered. What description? Elijah asked, suddenly more alert. I haven't done anything. Hands behind your back, Krell barked. But I didn't. Elijah barely got the words out before his arms were twisted behind him. Cold steel on his wrists. The concrete was even colder when he was shoved against the hood. A crowd began to gather. A few pulled out phones. Others shouted, "He didn't do anything," and "That's Elijah Brown, he goes to Central High." Krell didn't flinch. "Let's see if he's still cocky when we bring him in," he said, chuckling. That chuckle was quiet, but it was caught by his own body cam. At the time, Elijah didn't even know they were wearing cameras. And neither, it seemed, did the officers care.
The holding cell and the headlines, asterisco asterisco.
Elijah sat on the hard metal bench, wrists sore, eyes red, but not from crying. He hadn't shed a tear. Not when they shoved him into the squad car. Not when the cold cuffs cut into his skin. Not even when they fingerprinted him and stuffed him into a holding cell like he was dangerous. But now, in the quiet of a gray room that smelled like bleach and defeat, he just sat still.
Numb.
Waiting. Wondering. His phone had been confiscated. His mom hadn't heard from him in over an hour. In another part of the station, Officer Krell was casually debriefing the arrest. "Kid looked jumpy," he said to a fellow officer. "You know how they are. Fit the profile.
Oddie. Walking slow.
Bag full of homework." He laughed again. That laugh echoed, recorded in crisp HD by the very body cam clipped to his vest. Back at home, Elijah's mother, Tanya Brown, paced her living room like a lioness in a cage. She'd called his phone 4 times. No answer. Then she called the tutoring center. He left on time, the instructor said.
Around 6:15.
He said he was going straight home.
6:15.
It was 7:48 now. Panic settled in her chest like a weight she couldn't shake. She grabbed her keys and headed out the door.
Trattino.
Meanwhile, inside the station, a young rookie officer named Jay Mendoza sat in the tech room, reviewing routine bodycam uploads. It was part of his job to log, store, and archive footage. He clicked open the Krell file from today's arrest. He expected another boring interaction. Maybe a traffic stop. Maybe a drunk guy yelling in a parking lot. Instead, he saw Elijah. A kid. Calm. Respectful.
Cooperative.
He watched Krell grab the bag without probable cause. Heard the second officer say, "Matches the description," without naming any real crime. And then, he heard Krell laugh. "Let's see if he's still cocky when we bring him in." Jay stopped the video.
Rewound.
Played it again. That line. That tone. Something about it turned his stomach. This wasn't law enforcement. This was humiliation. Jay looked around. The room was empty. He knew what the rules were. Bodycam footage was for internal use only. But something in his gut told him this couldn't stay hidden.
Trattino.
At 8:13 p.m., Tanya Brown stormed into the precinct.
I'm looking for my son, Elia Brown.
He's 17. He's missing. The front desk officer blinked. Typed a few keys. There was a juvenile brought in a little over an hour ago, she said. Matching that name. Why? What did he do?
Tanya demanded.
The officer shrugged. They said he matched a suspect description.
Standard stop.
Tanya's voice cut through the station. My son is not a suspect. He's a student. He's a child. From the tech room, Jay heard it. And that was the moment he made a choice. Jay Mendoza had only been with the department for 8 months. He believed in the badge. He believed in protecting people. But what he saw on that screen, that wasn't protection. That was profiling. That was abuse. And it wasn't just what Officer Krell did, it was how easily he did it. Like it was routine. Like it wasn't the first time. Jay copied the bodycam file onto a USB drive. He hesitated before putting it in his backpack. This wasn't procedure. This could cost him his badge, maybe even his freedom. But he thought of Elijah. Of the look on his face. Of his mother's voice in the lobby. He's a child. Jay walked out of the tech room, past the bullpen, heart pounding like a war drum in his chest. No one stopped him. No one noticed. At home, he uploaded the video to an encrypted cloud folder. He didn't post it yet. He wasn't ready for that step. Not until he talked to someone he trusted. He called his cousin, Rosa, a civil rights journalist with over 80K followers on Twitter and a reputation for exposing injustice. Rosa, he said, voice low. I have something.
Something big.
Something you need to see.
Trattino.
Meanwhile, Elijah had been released into his mother's arms. No charges. No apology.
No paperwork.
Just a quick, you're free to go, from the same officer who arrested him. Tanya wanted answers. Why was he even detained?
The officer shrugged again.
He fit a description. We made a mistake. A mistake? You put cuffs on a kid, slammed him against a car, and locked him up for 2 hours. That's not a mistake. That's trauma. But there was no report. No complaint form. No badge number offered. They were just expected to walk away.
Trattino.
The next morning, the video was everywhere. Rosa posted it at 6:12 a.m. with the caption, Watch, a 17-year-old honor student is wrongfully arrested, mocked, and humiliated by police. Caught on their own body cam. No charges filed. No apology given.
This is America. Asterisco.
Within minutes, it was being shared across platforms.
Asterisco cancelletto justice for Elia asterisco. Asterisco cancelletto bodycam truth asterisco. Asterisco cancelletto end racial profiling asterisco.
By 9 a.m., it had over 300,000 views. News outlets picked it up. Celebrities retweeted it. Activists demanded Krell's badge. And Elijah. He woke up to a different world. One where his face was on every screen. Where the pain he endured was now public. He didn't ask for this attention. But now that it was here, he wasn't going to be silent. Not anymore. Viral storm and public outrage ***. By noon, the entire country knew Elijah Brown's name. His arrest video had crossed over from social media to mainstream news. CNN ran the headline.
Asterisco bodycam captures disturbing arresto of innocentin.
MSNBC hosted a panel of civil rights attorneys dissecting every second of the footage. Even Good Morning America mentioned it in their morning rundown. The bodycam showed everything. Elijah calmly answering questions. Complying. Officer Krell ripping the backpack. The cuffs. The shove. And that smirk, followed by, let's see if he's still cocky when we bring him in. But what struck the world the most wasn't just the injustice, it was how ordinary it seemed. As if this wasn't an isolated incident, but business as usual. And for many, especially black families across America, it confirmed what they'd always known. The system wasn't broken. It was working exactly as it was designed.
Trattino trattino.
Tanya sat across from Elijah at the kitchen table, scrolling through tweets and messages. Her phone vibrated every few seconds. Reporters, activists, lawyers, even strangers from other states sending support. Elijah looked tired. His body was home, but his mind was still stuck at the precinct, still feeling those cold cuffs, still hearing Krell's laugh. Tanya reached across the table and held his hand. "You didn't deserve this," she whispered. "I know," Elijah said quietly. "But what do we do now?" Tanya had never been one for the spotlight. She was a teacher, not an activist. But this wasn't about her. This was about her son, and every other kid who could be next. "We speak up," she said.
We fight back. Trattino trattino.
Across town, Officer Krell sat in his office watching the news with the sound off. His face pale. His jaw tight. He hadn't expected the body cam footage to leak. He didn't know how it got out. But now his name was trending. His face was on TV. And Internal Affairs had already scheduled a meeting. Suspended with pay, his lieutenant had told him. But Krell knew this wasn't going to blow over. Not this time.
Trattino trattino.
By evening, a protest had formed outside the police station. It started with a few dozen, then grew to hundreds.
Posters read. Asterisco asterisco, we see you. Asterisco asterisco.
Honor students don't fit your profile.
Asterisco asterisco.
This is why we film.
Asterisco asterisco.
The crowd was peaceful, but powerful. Chants filled the streets. Say his name.
Elijah Brown.
Say his name.
Elijah Brown.
Inside the crowd was Rosa, the journalist who posted the video, and Jay Mendoza, in a hoodie and cap, blending in. He hadn't told anyone yet that he was the one who leaked it. But when he saw Elijah's face on a massive sign waving above the crowd, when he heard that name echoing through the city, Jay felt something he hadn't in a long time.
Asterisco asterisco pride. Asterisco asterisco.
He knew he did the right thing. Even if the hard part was just beginning. The interview that shook the nation ***. The day after the protest, Tanya Brown received a call from one of the largest news outlets in the country. 60 Minutes wanted an exclusive. They didn't just want a comment, they wanted a sit-down.
A full interview.
With both Tanya and Elijah. They promised sensitivity, empathy, a chance for Elijah to tell his story in his own words. At first, Tanya hesitated. "I don't want him to relive it," she told the producer over the phone. "He's been through enough." But when she asked Elijah, his answer surprised her. "If I don't speak, they'll tell my story for me. I need people to hear what it felt like." 2 days later, they sat under the lights in a quiet studio, Elijah in a navy blazer that felt too grown-up for his age, Tanya holding his hand tightly just off camera. The journalist leaned forward gently. "Elijah, can you walk us through that night?" Elijah took a deep breath. "It was just a walk home," he said.
That is what I keep thinking.
"Just a walk. I had my earbuds in.
I texted my mom.
I wasn't doing anything wrong." He paused. "But none of that mattered." The reporter nodded. "And when Officer Krell stopped you?" "I didn't understand why," Elijah said. "I thought maybe there was a misunderstanding. I tried to explain. I offered my bag. But he didn't care. He just grabbed it. Grabbed me. Like I wasn't a person. Like I didn't matter."
And the cuffs. Ellie's voice cracked slightly.
"It wasn't just the cuffs. It was how he smiled. Like he enjoyed it. Like he wanted to scare me."
Umiliate me.
Tanya wiped a tear from the corner of her eye, silent but strong beside him. "And now," the reporter asked gently, "what do you want?" Elijah looked directly into the camera. "I want him to be held accountable. Not just for me, but for everyone he's ever treated that way. Because I'm not the first."
I know I'm not. Trattino trattino.
That interview aired 2 nights